All right, let's make some noise out there in the crowd for the first StarCraft stage match here on the main stage of the World Cyber Games 2006. The Terran player Iloveoov versus the Protoss player WhiteRA.
Hey guys, I'm not going to lie, guys. Those booths are pretty soundproof, so if you really want WhiteRA to win this, I suggest you make a lot more noise than that. He really needs your support right now. This foreigner, we want to see him do well against this Korean, but we're also excited to see how well Iloveoov is going to play here. And the game is going to get started pretty soon here. Oh, there it just goes. And I did not notice that countdown had started. We got the game off, Marcus. Take us away.
Yeah, it does. It looks like WhiteRA in the green Protoss, and then for yellow Terran, we have got Iloveoov. Now, Gaia is the map, and this is interesting because in the last set, we saw them spawn in the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock position. This time, it just so happens that we've got them in the 12 o'clock and like the 2 o'clock position or the 1 o'clock position, whichever one. Bottom line is they're right next to each other, so scouting could prove to be big here on this map.
Yeah, my bet is that, well, WhiteRA will probably scout first. However, he will end up finding his opponent last. Now, this game, we casted a game earlier that turned out to be the best game that I've casted so far in my broadcasting career with Draco versus Midas. And I'm really excited to see how this game turns out as well. We now see that, in this case, it looks like WhiteRA will opt to not scout early. This is a little bit of a less common opening, but it's certainly not bad. Basically, what it means, Marcus, is that WhiteRA is very confident in his build. He will do the same build regardless of positions because he is not scouting his opponent after the pylon.
Now, I mean, you had mentioned before in the previous game that, you know, on this particular map or on any map, Protoss may have the early advantage. Now, does that mean that he can expect a longer game because he's not going to make any sort of initial pushes here?
You know, that's a good question. It's hard to tell. It's kind of up to the Terran as to what kind of push he's going to do. Okay. I've noticed when I've been watching Iloveoov practice, or Iloveoov, excuse me, in practice, he seems to be very fond of fast expanding at this tournament. And that might be simply because he's so confident that his macro is so good. And if he can just get that fast expansion up and out-micro his opponent early, then he will just grow so fast and he will just crush, anything that WhiteRA might have to throw at him. So we're going to see here in just a little bit. I now see the scouting probe going out, gateway getting done, and I'm assuming, I mean, logically, WhiteRA will be getting the gas. Yes, he is. And he will be teching. Now remember, this matchup, you know, all the matchups in StarCraft function differently, but in this case, this matchup works in a unique way because neither players can really hurt each other early. They both have to opt to in the direction of teching. There are a few types of rushes you can do, but generally what we see here is early cybernetics core, no zealot, and Terran walling off, maybe getting 1 or 2 Marines, and then going straight for the factory.
All right, well, the probe there from the Protoss side has decided to go in a counterclockwise position. So, like you said, Tasteless, he will probably find his opponent last, and it's unfortunate at that point. He said, gosh, should have just gone clockwise. But standard scouting happening here between these two players, and the initial build order going up. It looks like the first Terran factory is now being built there, and we'll have a scout meet up here as they'll say hello and go on their merry little way.
Now, important to note here is that this is kind of strange, but we're actually seeing WhiteRA do the exact same strategy that Draco's doing, it seems, all right, because we are seeing 2 probes out here, and when we see 2 probes out here like this, that usually means that one of them is up to no good. He's going to hide something. He's going to try to do something that's basically going to surprise his opponent. And in this case, I think this is a wise decision. You know, I think a lot of the foreigners have kind of learned to some extent that cheese can work well against the Koreans. I mean, the foreigners have a lot of unique cheese up their sleeves. Right. We have different styles slightly from the Koreans, and in this case, we see the pylon warping in over here. Now, this can mean 2 things. It might be, it's going to be a fast Dark Templar rush. We only see 1 Dragoon over here, and perhaps this is an attempt by WhiteRA to counter Oov's early macro style that I have been seeing him do in these practice games.
Which is actually important because you can't expect to go into every single game running the same strategy. Depending on what your player does and what they're known to do, it's wise for you to be able to make those adjustments accordingly.
Yes, absolutely. And also important to know, the pylon has been discovered, and this means that WhiteRA's plan has been foiled. But not foiled too much because he did not end up warping any buildings. The Dark Templar rush will continue. However, for Iloveoov, it's somewhat obvious what's going on right now. Iloveoov probably aware that if he's going to do anything in this game, he's going to need to check for a few things like cheese this game. And in this case, he checked for that. However, Iloveoov left at not getting that pylon, assuming that he would rather bring that back into his base, and then WhiteRA stuck back over there and made the gateway anyways. That might actually throw him off. It depends. Oh, but we are now seeing Iloveoov taking the remainder of his units up here to kill this off. The question is, will this Dark Templar get over here in time to throw them off? The gateway's canceled. This will not put WhiteRA too terribly far behind. However, the floating barracks did manage to spot that robotics bay. I did not get to see if it spotted the Dark Templar as well, although I think through the process of elimination, he can pretty much assume that this is what's going on.
All right, well, we're still continuing to see. It looks like another command center being sent down here, so we'll have the first expansion on the Terran side. Some vultures coming out as well. In addition, we saw some sieges, and that probe stopped there momentarily. Didn't get a chance to see where it was positionally on the map, but you could see Dragoons coming out as well. Vultures laying down some mines. Dragoons will chase. Templar going in as well. The Vulture will make his way in now, and just going to scout things out. He will see what is going on here in Iloveoov's base. So if the barracks didn't see it, this Vulture bike is definitely cluing in on what's going on over at the main of WhiteRA.
Absolutely. Protoss probably feels a little bit naked right now, a little bit exposed now that his strategy has been revealed. And right now, Iloveoov, confident, is also getting an academy and an engineering bay. Two possible things to hold off basically to hold off the Dark Templar that will inevitably be coming up here. Now, this bike is getting microed around here very, very well. And it looks like he's going to end up killing at least 2 probes. But a Dark Templar is sneaking up here, and Iloveoov, even though he knew the Dark Templar rush was coming, somehow this is not good. This is not good for Iloveoov. The Dark Templar is now in there. He's got to get this mine. He's continuing to do a lot of damage, and he's going to get, okay, another mine being planted, but he gets that one as well. And it looks like this is going to be very, very bad for Iloveoov, although he will manage to get this tower up. There is a lot of damage being dealt here. He will get at least a few SCVs, and he did stop that. Okay, he's got to run away from this mine. He did manage to stay alive. Very good. Very excellent play by WhiteRA down there. He's going to move back down here to where this expansion is and continue to harass. WhiteRA picking up a few more Dark Templar. Now this is not good for Iloveoov. You cannot afford to lose SCVs, especially when you're fast expanding like this. It kind of contradicts the whole purpose of fast expanding. Now he's got to make a decision. He's a little bit unsure of himself right now. He's attacking all sorts of units, and he needs to. Okay, he did get that tank. That is very painful, and it looks like somehow I don't know how on earth those units did not die. But I guess Iloveoov is so good, not even mines will kill his Marines. I don't know what to say.
They've got super armor on, apparently. We're winning that for all of his great achievements in Korea and internationally. And already we're now seeing, we've got another one in there.
It looks like he tried to do another drop, but it did not manage to work. I think the Dragoon was in there probably to pick off that tower. However, he was already prepared for this. That Dark Templar did get hit by a mine. That will make it much less useful when attacking his opponent. WhiteRA right now being very, very, very aggressive. But the question is, Marcus, is he being too aggressive? Is he being foolish right now?
Well, you tell me.
Well, in my opinion, I think right now, now he's getting a Reaver, and this is an interesting play. But he's now managing to get that expansion up. Iloveoov is not only nicknamed the Monster Terran, but also the Machine, simply because, I don't think this is going to phase him that much. This is not something he hasn't seen before. But, with this Reaver coming in here after the Dark Templar drop, and he's continuing to do these Dark Templar drops. Right. He's not giving up on this plan. And what's important is that if he can get the Reaver over here, I don't know if there's a Reaver in here or not. Okay, there is. And this Reaver will do a lot of damage to these bikes right now. Bikes basically suck against Reavers. So it's going to be up to, okay, now we have the Dark Templar attacking here from 2 angles. The Reaver sneaking in here, and then the Reaver can get these SCVs, Marcus. This will be very bad. And he is getting a lot of SCVs. And now the Reaver actually shot behind himself. Yes. That was pretty crazy. And then bikes now getting chased back out. These SCVs will fall victim to this Reaver. Okay, I wish the Observer would go back down there. I really want to see if this Reaver, okay, where did the Reaver go?
The Reaver died.
Did the Reaver die? I did not see that.
The Reaver went peace.
The Reaver is in Reaver heaven right now with the rest of the Reavers in StarCraft. Yeah. But Iloveoov is managing to hold this off. WhiteRA knows it might be dangerous to even back off right now. He has to transfer those probes. You can see this has stunted him a little bit. These failed attacks. It's going to be difficult for him to pull this one off. A few probes now being transferred down there. Right now, I got to be honest. I think this is in Iloveoov's favor. This is very hard for Protoss to come back from, Marcus.
All right, well, some initial moves there that looked pretty good there for WhiteRA. You thought maybe he was being too aggressive. We're going to find out pretty soon if that is indeed the case, because although we know that,
Reaver did get damaged by
Yeah,
that
he
mine, and
did.
that will make it much less useful. You know,
Yeah.
Protoss units, you can't repair them. And when he comes in dropping his opponent's base like this, it's going to be very difficult for it to do any more damage. Iloveoov, the monster that he is continuing to expand. Now he's going to try to sneak this Reaver over here. Now this could do some damage right here. Okay, now we're going to see this. Can he do it? It's not clear. He's going to pick this back up. Oh, excellent micro by WhiteRA.
Nice,
Very well
nice.
done by him. That was very good. The question is, will he? No!
Oh!
Oh, man. A sad day for Shuttles as well as Reavers, Marcus, as both of those were lost to the hungry turrets of Iloveoov. And right now, WhiteRA knows exactly what's happening to him, and it's a very fleeting feeling. He knows there's not much he can do right now, as the push will begin very soon. He's definitely wasted enough units at this point in time for Terran to start a very early push, which will quite possibly end this game, Marcus.
Well, we haven't quite seen it yet, but you can tell that the amass of units here by Iloveoov is definitely taking place, preparing himself strategically for an attack. And I do have to agree with you. It does seem like a lot of units have been done by WhiteRA. He's interrupted the economy a little bit. He's taken out a few vultures here and there. But overall, I don't know if his drops have been as effective as they could have been.
I agree completely. I think I liked the strategy that we saw by WhiteRA, but you know, sometimes you got to be careful when you're playing against you know, quite possibly the best player in the world.
Right.
You know, it's not something that he hasn't seen before. I do like the fact that he used that Dark Templar drop into Reaver. You could see that Iloveoov was not quite prepared for that. He only had bikes, and but unfortunately he lost that Reaver. He opted to get the bikes instead of the SCVs. Maybe if he could have gone back in time and switched that, this game would be different right now. But now we see Iloveoov is pissed and is going to be coming across the map right now, trying to fight this, and then we will see good game here, I think, very soon. And oh my God, this is ugly right now. We are now seeing him basically just walk over his opponent. No siege mode necessary right now. Mines being planted as the Dragoons retreat. He did micro those forward to pick off a few bikes. Good
There
game.
it is. Good game. GG.
Excellent strategy by WhiteRA. However, I don't know. It just wasn't enough, Marcus. You know, but I understand why he would have done that, because frankly, to play straight up against Iloveoov may be suicide.
Well, and again, some good drops, great attempt there by WhiteRA. Definitely wouldn't count him out. I think he had some open opportunities there. Iloveoov obviously just having a ridiculous defense as well as offense. He saw the window of opportunity to go in there and make his push. He did. It was sort of a little anticlimactic, but the climax was the entire opening portion of the map, as Iloveoov just taking advantage of his opponent's losses.
Absolutely, Marcus. We're not going to get ready for the next match over here. I'm not sure if we're supposed to wind this one up right now or what exactly the plan is, but I can say I do believe the next map will either be, I think it's going to be Azalea, and
Yes.
that's going to be a very exciting map. Also a great map here at WCG, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, we'll see if WhiteRA can bring it back to his favor. He's got to win this one to stay alive, or will Iloveoov take it, or will it be forced to a third map? We'll find out in a second as Inside the Game takes you inside the game at the World Cyber Games 2006 Grand Finals.
Peace out, guys.